I, 30 female, opened my own business last year. I was bedridden, tough pregnancy, and had zero income, and I wanted to do something. My husband at the time told me I was wasting my time, that it was nothing but a pipe dream, and that I was wasting money. It caused a lot of fights in the beginning, but I stuck it out because I believed in myself and didn't give myself the ability to fail. My kids even joined in with me. 3 kids from my previous marriage, plus an infant with my husband. But yeah, he didn't believe in me at all. He just saw me as wasting money. We have separate bank accounts and all of my products are kept in an indoor storage unit, so my husband has never seen my products or known how much money I've brought them. I've been paying my portion of the bills and not explaining what I've been doing. I honestly, as childish as it may be, wanted to wait until I had a bucket load of profit and then show him. That way he felt bad for all those fights he picked with me over wasting money. But anyway, since I started the business, I have a profit so far of $34K. I've only lost out so far on $5K worth of product. Considering I started with a measly $500, I'm very impressed and proud. I promote mainly on TikTok and have my business account there. Well, my husband found the business account on TikTok and saw I had a huge following. He started asking questions, and eventually, it got to him asking how much I'd made. Well, I went over the numbers with him, and now he's super interested in what I'm doing and tries coming with me and the kids on the weekend to do inventory and shipments. Now I'm willing to admit that I'm just getting tapped out by his presence within my business, because now he's trying to get me to buy things that he likes, different from what the general consumer does. He's trying to change how I do things by suggesting what would be easier. He's always right in a way, and he's just stressing me out. And now he's saying he wants to join in and use my TikTok account to promote the things he buys, which he wants me to do because he hates being on camera. I feel bad because I know it would be a way for us to connect over something profitable, but I just don't want to. My kids and I started from scratch, and he picked massive fights with me over this. But now that he sees I'm making money, he wants to use what I built without him so we can make money off of it. So I told him he needed to do his own thing. Start from scratch like I did. Learn as I did. Because I don't want him involved in what my kids and I built. Especially not after picking all those fights with me and making me feel stupid without an apology until I mentioned it to him. He says I'm blowing this out of proportion and that he just wants to be involved. He says he won't apologize for his doubts, and I should understand. But now that I've proven him wrong, I should be willing to cut him in on it, because it can be a family thing. I don't want him to. This is my and my kids' thing, and I don't want him taking over or having any say in how we do things, which I know will happen. Edit. My money started the business, and only my money went into it. He didn't help at all. He's the man of the house. He decides. Ha! He wants in on it because it's making money. There are other things you can do together. Good for you. Not the idiot. You started this and you ran it. It is completely fair and reasonable to want your business to be your space so that you can handle it how you prefer. It would be completely fine, even without him picking on you about it. Stick to your guns. This behavior should concern you, OP. When you were just starting out and all you had was $500 and an idea, he didn't prop you up. He wasn't your hype man. He tried to tell you it was a waste of time, a pipe dream, a waste of money. Now that you're successful, he wants to hop right in and won't even admit the mistake he made of discouraging you in the first place. Congratulations on the great success of your business. I would seriously look into putting the business in one of your older children's names if you can trust them, or to get a postnup to protect your business in case of divorce. Yes, divorce is probably in the future, and it won't even be sad when it happens. It'll be a relief for OP. He just wants to reconnect with her money and success. 100%, he would just be making fun of her if this had failed, or if she only had $5K of profit or something. OP needs to buy her husband a used copy of The Little Red Hen to read. This is exactly the same idea. Lazy bums don't want to contribute until the bread is already baked. When I got engaged, I, 24 female, asked my mom if she would walk me down the aisle and have a mother-daughter dance during my reception. She enthusiastically said yes. We told my stepdad, and he said he was happy for my mom. He and my mom started dating when I was 6. He moved in 3 years later, and they got married the following year. When Mom started dating him, she sat me down and told me he wasn't ever going to replace Dad, and that if he ever pressured me to do something I was uncomfortable with, like calling him Dad, I could tell her, and she would nip it in the bud. She made it clear our relationship didn't have to fit anyone else's mold, and she reminded me of this again when he moved in and when they got married. She also asked for my feelings on things every step of the way. I liked my stepdad and cared about him, so it was easy to agree to him moving in and getting married. I never called him Dad or thought of him as a father figure. He was something different, and it wasn't nothing, but I'm not sure I would have a word to describe it. But we got along great. It just was never the same as my relationship with my mom. I always dreamed of Mom walking me down the aisle and dancing with me at my wedding. She was there and always put me first, and we're our own team. But she also loved and never let him just be a piece of history that I never knew anything about. And I always appreciated that and her efforts to keep me involved in his family, or the good parts anyway, LOL. A few weeks ago, my stepdad's parents texted me with a weird comment about the father of the brides needing a little extra detail to go into their wedding suit. It came out of nowhere, and I didn't reply because I honestly had no idea what it was about, really. A few days later, I saw them, and they asked why he wasn't in rehearsal for our father-daughter dance. I told them there was nothing to rehearse and that Mom was dancing with me. I said my stepdad and I would dance at a different time. They said the bride's father is the dance, not the bride's mother. I told them that he wasn't going to have that traditional role. Another day then, they mentioned it to me, and I asked them why they kept bringing it up. They said I should be ashamed, and I humiliated my stepdad, and he was so upset that he went to them. I spoke to my stepdad, and he confirmed he went to his parents with the hope that I'd see the error of my ways, and he didn't want to make my mom angry by saying something directly. But he told me he deserved to be the father of the bride and not the stepfather of the bride. I told my mom what he did, and she was furious. Of course, my stepdad was upset with me, but his parents were angry and told me I ran to my mommy like a little girl instead of a woman. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. They're mad you ran to mommy. Checking my notes. But he ran to his family to complain about you? You had every right to go to your mom. He's her problem. He can be sad, but it's your wedding. His role is what you want. He needs to grow up and not run to his family that his stepdaughter was mean to him. He should have talked to you directly about a different role if he wanted one. It's even a worse look to let your mommy and daddy do your dirty work. He wants to take something tremendously special from your mom, his wife, but wants everyone else to be the bad guy. I hope your mom sees how manipulative his actions are. He didn't just run to his mommy and daddy to complain. He recruited them to bully OP into doing what he wanted. I'm sure your mother was less than pleased with this little pressure campaign by your stepfather and his minions, but true to her word, when she was made aware, she nipped it in the bud. Congratulations, and have a wonderful wedding and a happy marriage. I, 31 female, got married last year and wore my mom's wedding veil to include her on my special day. She passed away a few years ago, and when we went through her stuff, we found her wedding dress and wedding veil, amongst some other possessions. She was my stepmom, but my dad married her when I was 3, and growing up, she had always been my mom. My dad and she had my half-sister, Annie, nearly adult. We have a big age gap, so Annie and I aren't super close. But when we discovered our mom's wedding stuff, Annie said she wanted the dress, and I said I'd take the veil then. My friend Lily, who came to my wedding, was getting married soon and asked me if she could borrow my veil. And they're getting married on a tight budget, and she likes mine, but it's not in her price range. And the veil is mine and not Annie's. I didn't ask her and lent it to Lily. After the wedding, Lily posted pictures of her and her bridesmaids, including me, and I reposted it on my social media. Annie called me and blew up at me on the phone. She recognized the veil and said it was her mom's stuff, not my mom's, and I shouldn't have lent it out without asking her. I hung up on her, In hindsight, I could have handled the phone call a bit better, and I should have at least informed Annie. But when she pointed out that my mom was my stepmom and her actual mom, I got upset. Not the idiot. You split the stuff between the two of you. It was your veil, and you could use it however you saw fit. Just the same way your sister could wear the wedding dress, how she saw fit. I would guess that your sister's still grieving your mom's death, which likely explains her visceral reaction. I hope she can approach your grief in healthier ways moving forward. You are the idiot for me, not because you had Lily borrow it. That is your decision. But it wouldn't have hurt you to have informed Annie about the loan. It is her mother's, and she probably would have liked the heads up about someone else wearing it. Sometimes it's not about being right or wrong, but also about being gracious to someone close who doesn't necessarily have a say, but might have some emotions about it too. I agree. Anyone taking the "you have the full right to sell or lend or destroy, do what you want with your property" stance is missing the point. She does, but it's kind of an idiot move to treat it like some random shirt one will give to a friend and then another, at least from the sister's perspective, which may be unfair or a snap judgment, but she's also a teen and navigating grief around a major loss. She shouldn't have taken it if it had this little meaning to her. My property, my rights may be legally valid, but will rarely get you far in any relationship. In fact, it's a great way to ruin the closest ones. My mid-30s female, husband John, mid-30s, has been having an affair for almost 2 years. I noticed he was acting suspiciously about a year and a half ago. I didn't have any proof, but circumstantial evidence pointed me to his coworker, Eva, early to mid-20s female. My husband would always make excuses to be at work and on his phone. Other coworkers on his team were not doing the same hours. I did a little snooping and contacted Eve's boyfriend, Nick, on social media and asked him if Eva was also increasing her time at work. Nick replied that he had also noticed Eva acting suspiciously, but didn't have solid evidence of an affair. We agreed to work together to figure out what was going on. Little by little, the evidence started to pile up, and we were staring at an affair in the making. We made a plan to get tangible proof. A couple of months later, they had a work trip. Eva had packed lingerie, and John had protection. That was enough proof for both of us. Nick and I hatched a plan for revenge. Our state is no fault, so that an affair wouldn't help me in the divorce. However, we knew they used their work phones to conduct the affair. We put together the evidence, the deleted messaging apps on their phone, the increased work hours, John volunteering Eva for a promotion, reimbursed credit card charges, and sent it to their work. HR questioned John and Eva, and they were both asked to resign. John and his family were deeply unhappy because I went to his work, HR. He lost his job for a personal matter. He said that I should have confronted him before he got into an affair instead of waiting for him to trip up. He also accused me of having an emotional affair with Nick. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Turning people in for rules they broke while hurting you is not revenge. It's justice. Lying about them would have been unjustly vengeful. He made his choices, using the company credit card for his affair, etc. OP, this is excellent work. I hope you can find happiness. It's not the wife's job to prevent the husband from having an affair. LMAO. He shouldn't be doing that in the first place. Right, like, really, dude? If you can't keep it in your pants, it's not the wife's job to lock you up. Like, nah, if she confronts you, you'll be more careful so you won't get caught. Your husband is delusional to accuse you of having an emotional affair and acting like the victim when he cheated on you for 2 years. And he got his affair partner a promotion as a cherry on top. I hope you rake him over the coals. You know what they say about a woman scorned. He wouldn't have lost his job if he wasn't doing anything wrong in the workplace. If he wasn't stepping outside of his marriage, your intuition wouldn't have been screaming that something wasn't right, resulting in your own little investigation. Trying to blame you for not confronting him is ridiculous. Good investigation. Now for the best revenge, a life well lived. Forget him and find what awaits you. Last year, my friend and I ticketed for Taylor Swift. She got us tickets in the front of the second level for day 1, and I got us good floor seats for day 4. We're both university students. I babysat to earn money and worked for my uncle once a week. Last week, the keyboard on my laptop stopped working, just 6 weeks after my warranty expired. I took it to Apple, and they said it needs to be replaced. It'll cost about $1,000 to fix it, as it's out of warranty. For that, I might as well just pay a few $100s more and buy a new one, as there are a couple of other issues with it, notably an annoying crack in the screen from when I tripped over holding it. I have decided to sell my floor ticket and go on the first day. I'll get at least $2,500 from selling it due to how close it is, which is more than enough to cover the laptop. And I can put the rest into my savings account to have some savings handy in my account. This will be helpful for me for times when I need to babysit less because I'm busy during exam periods. My oldest sister is 10 years older and a lawyer. She was unable to get tickets. When she found out I was selling mine, she got angry. I did not offer it to her for face value. Face value's not going to even pay half my new laptop. She said I was being scummy by buying tickets to sell for more. That was not my intention. I'm upset to have to sell the ticket, but our parents are not well off, and I really need a working laptop for my studies. I wouldn't be selling the ticket if the keyboard didn't stop working. I'm only doing it out of necessity because I need this laptop for university. She said I should get a cheaper brand than Apple instead of scalping, but everything is interlinked with my iPhone and Apple Calendar, and I really don't like Windows OS and don't want to be stuck with it for years. I plan to buy an extended warranty this time and keep it for 3 years if possible. I said if she bought me a new laptop with an extended warranty, she could have the ticket, but she refused. It was unfair, so I plan to sell it, but she keeps putting up stories on Instagram about how I'm a trashy, scammy scalper, so I don't know if I'm being a jerk. I didn't buy the ticket with the intention of reselling it. I'm selling it because something crappy happened and I need the money for my studies. Not the idiot. Your sister has no right to demand you sell it at face value. She's just spewing poison because she's butthurt at not being able to score the tickets herself, and because she's trying to manipulate and guilt you into giving them to her for a price that she can't find in the market. She keeps putting up stories on Instagram about how I'm a trashy, scammy scalper. Your fully grown adult lawyer sister is doing this? Really? That's not scalping. But I have to say, aiming to keep a laptop for 3 years? Dude, if you run through them so that the 3 years seems challenging, you should change to a cheaper model. I'm not going to go into the environmental impact rant, but believe me, I'm thinking it hard.